So here I have prepared the sized paper with a nice yellow background, pale yellow. We want the shapes to stand out. I've cut my shapes out, the bird, butterfly, a couple of flowers, cow parsley and leaves. I've done them in different colours so you can see the different shapes. Now I'm mixing a little bit of yellow and blue with a little bit of water just to get a nice consistency to paint on the larger leaves to start with. Get your students to practice on spare sheets of paper so they can see how the consistency should be. A little bit of that on each leaf, and when it's covered, get your damp sponge and re-wet your sheet of paper. Not too much, but it has to take the ink, so you do want it damp. Then take your leaf gently, gets a bit messy, but don't worry. Lay it onto the paper. Now with a dry cloth or a J cloth or even a piece of kitchen towel, press firmly so that you can feel each bit of the foam shape has had pressure on it. Take the cloth off and very gently take the leaf off. Now this has actually spread outside the edges, so you can lay, if you think there is a little bit too much ink on, just blot it with a clean piece of kitchen towel. Be careful actually, this kitchen towel has its own pattern on it and that can come off, which can look quite nice if that's what you want. There we go, there's the first leaf. What I'll do, this is going to be the background, so I'll do the cow parsley, I'll do it a little bit lighter. Now, don't put too much paint on. As I say, it's worth experimenting a little bit. Cover the foam shape. I'll put that one over on that side. Get your cloth. I'm not going to press quite so hard. Off. Ah, that's nice. Okay, I think I'll do the bird next. Remember, it's going to go in reverse. I'm going to use a nice blue. Might put a tiny bit of red in just to give it a nicer purpley colour. Now it doesn't matter if the paint isn't even, because it makes it more interesting if it isn't just a big block of flat colour. And you can always go over it once it's dry if you feel you could have put more colour or more paint. Now I'm going to lay this over the leaves. But I'm going to use some kitchen towel, gently but firmly press. You can always lift up a corner if you think it might not have taken completely. I think that's quite nice. There we go. And take it off. Yeah, that's nice. Let's put these back on the paper. Okay, now I'll do a nice red flower. That's a bit runny. And I'll put that up there. Lay the cloth over. I think that might spread a bit, might bleed a bit, but it doesn't look too bad. There we go, nice flower. Butterfly. We'll make a nice depending on what sort of a red you've got, the purples will be different. Let's see, I can just do it a little bit darker. Blue, I think. Don't want it too wet. If you have bought blacks and whites, then obviously you'll get some, you can make some nice pastel colours or much darker hues, but for this purpose you should be able to make a nice print with just primary colours. I'm going to put it up there. That's it's important to keep everything clean, otherwise you'll get splotches. If it gets a bit fiddly, get the end of your scissors or a toothpick to take it off. Not bad. Also, I could go over with the leaves again. This time I'll try and get the ink a lot drier. It takes a little bit of fiddling about to get the right consistency. Get the hang of it, and let's put this one over here, fill in that space. Actually, I'll use the colour again. Might blot some of the other ink off a little bit so it's not so wet. Press firmly down. You could use a rolling pin if you wanted, but this should be sufficient. Yeah, that's nice. You see how you build up the layers? You can put another butterfly over there. Once it's dry, you could add another layer on top to give it a bit more depth. Maybe this leaf could be a bit brighter. I'll just put one more shape on and then there's no right or wrong way really, as long as it's a nice composition. I'll put a balance the colour out a bit and put a flower maybe over here. Let's just put it down here. Can always put another butterfly in the corner. In fact, I'll do that at the same time. Different colour. Different direction. Make sure you don't lay the piece of cloth with all the paint on, otherwise that will spoil it. And the big reveal. Okay. Finished picture. Print. Monoprinting.